Blog Talk Radio.
Power in the people. Power in the people. Power in the people. Power in the people. We gon' fight, we gon' shout for our rights without a doubt. We gon' love, we gon' sing, we gon' rise and do our thing. We gon' stand and join hands, united as one, we're in demand. Hear our voice, young and old, fight the lies, let the truth be told. Power in the people. Power in the people.
Yo, what's up, man?
Morning.
Morning.
How's it going?
How's it going, man? It's going. This is the Build 720. Oh, man. It's Sunday, July 19th. Woo, 2015. Whew. All right. Well, today, I think we're going to get into a little bit. We have about, 11 minutes on this topic. Dope. The movie could have been dope, but yeah. So, man, I know we've talked about the movie a couple times, and yeah. So you want to go in, man? Give your 2 cents.
Wow, that's yeah. I got nowhere to go with that, but let me see if I can pick it up somewhere. Well, I went into the movie Dope with high expectations because, you know, it's a comedy. It has a largely African American cast. It looked really funny. There was a lot of buzz about it. A lot of people, you know, were saying it was great and all of this. So I went in with high expectations, and maybe that's pointed. I don't know. The acting is superb, first rate. I like the kids that play the three principal parts. They were awesome. I thought the direction was good, and you know the story itself I thought was excellent. The problem that I had was the overusage of the N-word. I don't know if that was by design, but it totally put me off the movie and also made it to where I could not recommend it, really. You know, I mean, I told you to go see it because I knew that you and I could have conversation about, you know, probably the same things we would be annoyed with the movie, and that was the overusage of the N-word. I didn't think it was necessary. I thought it was. There's another movie in the past that kind of does a similar thing. It has nothing to do with race, but it was 1981, 1983 Scarface, directed by Brian De Palma, and they overused the MF word. So I don't know. Some of these movies, they have these, you know, really great premises. They have dynamic casts, all this good stuff going for it. And then there's one little thing. It's like, oh man, that movie could have been great. So yeah, as you said at the top, Dope could have been dope, but you know, way too many N-words.
Yeah, man, I totally agree with you. That was my biggest issue. I mean, outside of everything, in the movie, it was really good. You're right. Cast was good. Cinematography was good. Director, excellent. Unfortunately, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it is. It's one of those things where, you know, you have all this stuff that perfectly aligns and, you know, it's like, all right, this is going to be it. And then for some reason it doesn't.
Part of the issue is, like, for example, I can't remember one of the characters. He may have been East Indian, and he comes right off the top of the dome, just drops it.
Oh
And,
yeah.
you know,
He was
just right off
the
the top of the
first
dome.
character. He was the first character to say it. And
And it
for
wasn't even
those
necessary.
for those people listening, I'm not going to say this is across the board for every African American person, but I'm sure going into, certain types of movies, themes, you see a movie about the racist South, you're going to hear the N-word. So you're just basically waiting to see which character is going to drop that bomb. And then when that happens, I think it's a matter of, okay, is that acceptable? Is that, is that true? Am I buying into all of this? And yeah, that character saying it first just totally threw me off.
And then, not only that, but then the word was used so many times throughout the movie that it just, I mean, if you're sensitive to the word, which I think everybody should be, then after a while, I think, something would trigger in your head, like, man, is this really necessary? I mean, are we doing a Quentin Tarantino now? And I think you say you had a friend that went with you, and even your friend mentioned it. Am I correct that he felt like the word was overly used?
Yeah, this friend of mine who is, a non-ethnic person, I guess we would say, was asking me, it's like, why do they use the N-word so much? And that's, not pointedly asking me, because he knows I don't have anything to do with the making of that film, but, as an African American person, so he's, opening the discussion is like, why would they use that? And I don't know, and I don't want to belabor a point, because, even us talking about it, hopefully will shed some light to where, yeah, there should be some sensitivity about it. I think that in some odd way, I think the director might have been trying to desensitize the word by saying it, repetitively, or having it said repetitively. But I think that I know for me, it had the opposite effect. Because at one point in the movie, I almost got up and walked out. And I never walk out of a movie. I always, try to give the movie its fair chance. Because, there are a lot of creative people that have worked on this thing. And I realize, I know how hard it is to do something creative. So, I want to sit there and make it through the end. But it was, it was getting kind of difficult.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point. I mean, is this? I mean, when creative people are is it done because? How can I put this? You're right. Do they want to desensitize the word and say, "Oh, I want to make this so repetitive that all of a sudden this word is becoming ridiculous now"? Well, I mean, in my humble opinion, just the mere fact that a person can't use other words to try to describe how they really want to feel is just plain ignorant. And in my humble opinion, I think using especially that type of word in the history of the word. Now, before I go in, I think one thing, and hopefully I can get him onto the show. This brother's name's Brother Larry, and if you guys go on to Google and type in Brother Larry or on YouTube, he actually breaks down the etymology of the Nigga word and the Nigger word, and actually the word called nega. Now, nega is a different term I believe it's actually in Ethiopia, meaning royalty. So, there's a different terminology that is used, comparatively speaking, than the NIGGA word, the N word, today. So because of the history and the etymology of the word, and I get a little sensitive, man, about the word. It definitely needs to be removed from, especially quote unquote melanated people. That we just really, in my humble opinion, we just need to not even use it in our vocabulary. However, if we do use it, especially in this creative medium, then it should be used with a certain intent. Like, for example, there was one scene in the movie where this white gentleman was beginning to say the word, and one of the characters, the female characters, I don't know, she may have been African American or biracial.
Yeah.
Where she slapped him.
Yeah,
Diggy.
Yeah, because she says that he doesn't have the right to be saying that word, and that was one of the better things. And if they had gone through the movie and had someone slap a non-melanated person every time he said it, then that would have been funny, and that would have been driving home a point that it's not okay to say it. But by virtue of just allowing people to say it, I don't think that does anything, to lessen the intensity of the word or the meaning behind the word. I grew up in South Carolina, so I call that the South. Some people don't call it the South, but it's the Bible Belt. So I am very, very much used to hearing that word, being bantered about, at me, at family members, at, African American people. So I'm very sensitive to the word, and I think that when you were, you grew up in a different culture, like if you grew up on the West Coast, it does have a different meaning, and it's not as hurtful. But that's another thing too. I think creative people need to take into consideration. It's like you just have to do your homework. It's like, yeah, you might have an entire West Coast full of people who are like, oh man, there's nothing wrong with that, and we're taking that word back. But then you have another set of people that's on the other coast who are very sensitive to it. And I think that as creative people, we need to be mindful of these things.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. And even, we got about 30 seconds left on the show, but we're going to go another minute even when the stream goes off, or a minute or two, because I think we still want to get into it a little bit, and then I'll just post it up to other sites so other people who are listening can continue on listening. So this is the build 720, and we're out, and peace.
Cool.
All right, man. So the recording's still going, but
okay.
We're gonna get into it a little bit more. So yeah, I think one of the things, man, when we talk about this word, especially in situations like this, when we have people who consider themselves black or melanated, etc., where we give excuses for the word. Like, for example, I know there's some people who consider themselves conscious or whatever that means. And then they'll go through, and then they'll just drop explicitives, they'll drop the N-word, and then they say, oh, well, what's up, brother? What's up, sister? We're gods, we're goddesses. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're saying one thing, you're saying one message, and then on the end, you drop this. I like what you're saying, and I appreciate your historical information or your historic information, but bro, you just or sister, you just turned me off.
Right.
I don't know, man. It's just crazy. I for people to say that they're at that level of a higher vibration, and then they go through and say that, it's just amazing to me. So for me, I really can't excuse it. I really can't go and try to make an argument for it. It's just one of those things where you just say, okay, that's your opinion, but since you're conscious and you have that higher level of understanding and you know the history of the word and you're very aware with it, then why are you using it? And
right.
That's the biggest question.
And what was the last part?
Oh, that was it, bruh.
No. What was the last part?
I just said that's the biggest question. Why are you using it? When
right, yeah,
especially the people are aware.
Yeah, I think we'll have like maybe a 2-second delay.
Yeah, probably. All right. Well, I'm gonna end this session, bruh. I'm gonna hang up, and I guess we'll do the other show.
Sounds good.
All right, bruh. All right. Peace.
Bye.